Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda Ngugana. This is my channel Life of Curves. So I normally post plus size style and fashion tips. If it is your first time seeing this face, welcome. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing a story time. This was up on my Instagram stories like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, where I promised you guys a story time. You guys did a poll. There was two options: A, being my COVID story, and B, being my stalker story. I guess me being sick did not interest you guys, and you guys wanted to know more about what happened between me and my stalker. So this is that story. Grab your popcorn, grab your chips, your sweets, your cool drink, your water, your fruit, your meal, because I'm a meal girl. I don't watch anything without having a proper meal. Burger, chips, fish, something. Okay guys, so this particular story goes all the way back to 2009. I am going to try and keep it brief. There is a lot of incidents that have happened with regards to this stalker, so I'm going to try and keep it under 10 minutes to 15 minutes, hopefully. Okay, so let's get into it. So I met my stalker in 2009. I met through a mutual family friend. We all basically lived in the same neighborhood, but because I had strict parents, I had never really seen that guy, you know. So it wasn't like some guy that I would be like, oh, I know where you live, I know, you know. Also, our neighborhood is quite big, so I would know people who live like in my street and in my surrounding streets, and not people who live like on the other side of the neighborhood, if I'm making sense, right? So one day I was walking down the street going to the shop with this other friend of mine, who was like one of the few friends my parents actually allowed me to have. So I was walking down the street with this friend and we are going to the shop, and my family friend calls me. He's like, hey, don't you want to come here quickly for 2 seconds? I want to talk to you. So he's like, I have this friend of mine who would like to talk to you. He's shy, blah blah blah, and he just wants to be friends with you. That's how it was put to me. Mind you, in 2009 I was, why does that sound so weird? In 2009, yeah, whatever, I was 12 turning 13 in that year, and this was in the June holidays. So my birthday's in September. So when I met this guy, I was 12. So he calls me over. He's like, I want to introduce you to someone. I'm like, hi, how are you? And then he leaves me to go talk to my friend because they knew each other. So I'm talking to this guy and I'm thinking, oh, he just wants to be friends with me or whatever. I was very naive, I was very dumb. And I asked him, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 16. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's not bad. Like, it's only 3 years older than me. I also had friends at that time who were like my neighbors, who were 16, that like sometimes, you know, we wouldn't play together, but we would talk. Or like if I see them, we'd stand outside and talk, because I grew up with them. Like, I've lived in this neighborhood for like 20 years. So, you know, I knew everyone in my street and I knew everyone like in the surrounding streets. So, you know, regardless of age gap. So I just thought, okay, well, you're just another guy that I'm going to add to like my list of friends. We're gonna talk. When I see you in the street, I'll greet you or whatever. Like, that's if and when my parents let me out. So fast forward, that year we're just friends, nothing serious. I go to high school because in 2009 I was doing my final year of primary school, so that's grade 7, and then I went to high school. The high school is also in the same neighborhood. Literally, this is like, I don't know how to put it, but like everybody knows everybody and everybody goes to the same schools basically. Like, my neighbors were sometimes my classmates. It was like that. So I go to the high school and I'm now in grade 8. And I see him there. I'm like, oh wow, I never knew you went to this school. Like, I've never asked you, like it never came up. Every time I've ever seen you in the streets, it was always after school and you'd be in like whatever clothes, your casual stuff. So he's like, yeah, no, I do go to the school. I'm like, what grade are you in? I'm thinking he's gonna say grade 11. He's like, no, I'll tell you another time. He doesn't tell me. I ask around and I find out that he's in matric. Matric is grade 12. Grade 12 is the final year of high school. I'm entering high school. He is about to leave high school. And then I find out that he's not 16, turning 17 that year. He is actually 18, turning 19. He was actually a year older than his grade, right? So he lied to me the year before when I first met him. Is that not predator vibes? So I confront him on this, and his excuse was like, oh no, I wanted to be your friend because you seemed like a cool person, and I didn't really think much of it. Like, I really didn't want you to think like, why does this old guy want to be my friend, blah blah blah. So okay, so we continue our friendship throughout 2010, until a certain incident. So as mentioned before, we all went to the same high school. People in my neighborhood, we all knew each other. Sometimes we attended the same church. It was like that type of vibe. So there's this one guy who, his dad was friends with my dad, and he would come up to me randomly and say the most disgusting things like, I find you so attractive. Mind you, he was also a matric and I was a grade 8, meaning I was 14 and he was 18. So he would come up to me and he would say the most random of things, like, actually it's really disgusting, like how he'd like for me to lose my virginity to him. So it got to the point where he was actually harassing me, and I went ahead and I told my mom, and my mom told my dad, and my dad told the guy's friend. So he made it known to his son, like, stop harassing her, this is disgusting, like, think of her like your sister because you grew up together, like, you know her, you've known her for a long time. It gets around at school that I told my dad, and the matrics harass me. They say that I am a tattletale. How can I run to my parents? Especially the guys. It was mainly the guys. Like, the girls were like, this is a child, like, why are you guys acting like this? So the guy who ends up being my stalker comes and finds me, and he asks me, why would I run and tell my dad about a guy wanting me to lose my virginity to him? That was the beginning of the worst. I tell him, like, I'm not going to sleep with someone I don't want to sleep with. And he's like, okay, maybe it's because you're saving your flower for me. And that's where the obsession with my virginity began for him. He became so obsessed with being my first. It was actually disgusting and creepy. But at the time, I was so naive, I didn't really register it. So 2010 passes, 2015, he's out of, not 2015, what is this year? Why can't I count? 2011 comes, he's out of high school, and I now have Facebook, so he's talking to me via Facebook, and he would always send me like really weird messages like, how was your day? Or I just saw you, you were with your mom at this mall and you're wearing this, or I'm just walking past your house right now, or I just walked past your gate, or I just drove past your house and I saw you standing outside taking pictures. Like, it was creepy the way he would always like come back and tell me what I was doing or where I was. And the funny part is, sometimes we'd be at the mall and he'd say, I saw you at the mall, but he would never come up and greet for some reason. He would just send me a message, which was like always so creepy. Anyway, so he did this basically throughout my high school. I remember this one incident though in high school where I think I was in grade 9 or 10, and I was struggling with maths and maths projects. So I asked him on Facebook, like, hey, can you help me with this? Can I come over, or you can come to my house like and help me? So he was like, okay, come alone. And I was like, okay. I was anyway going to bring my friend who was in the same class as me, and also she, like, you know, we lived in the same neighborhood. She also didn't understand. So, and he lived like very close to her house. So she was like, why wouldn't he also help me, because he's literally my neighbor? So I was like, okay, you know what, let's just walk to your street and we'll see there. We get to the gate, and the disappointment in his face, he was like, why would you bring her? She was like, well, I also don't understand. And he was like, okay, come. So he says to me, like, I'm sitting on the couch waiting for him to come help us, and he says to me, hey, can you come help me with something quickly in the bedroom? So I'm like, what is it? He's like, no, he just needs to get like a couple of things for the maths. I'm like, okay, that's weird. But I go, and then he closes the door. He tries to grope me, he tries to do whatever. I push him away, and then he was like, okay, like, I get it, you don't want to do anything with me, blah blah. And I'm like, no, this is not how I pictured losing my virginity. I'd rather do it like at my own time, when I'm ready to do whatever, right? So we leave the room, like, I force my way out, and it was the most uncomfortable situation. And then he says to me, oh, let me help you with the maths. So I said, no, you didn't want to help us with the maths. Do you even understand it? He laughs and he's like, okay, to be honest, I don't understand this maths. And my friend and I, who's my classmate, we just get our stuff and we leave, right? And I thought, okay, that was that. Like, I didn't even feel the need to tell anyone because she was there with me. It was a weird situation. It was just, yeah. So after that happens, I let it go. I don't really think about him. He sends me messages from time to time, from basically like 2012 all the way until 2014 when it was my matric year. He'd send me messages, or he'd like try to chat me up or whatever, and I'd ignore him. And mind you, always the conversation was about like virginity, or like, what is it that you're doing, like, do you have a boyfriend, are you sleeping with him, how many guys have you slept with, are you sleeping, like, it was just always focused on that. Basically, he just wanted to sleep with me, and it pissed him off that he didn't sleep with me. Mind you, when he met me, I was 12 turning 13, so he really had this plan in action for that long, and he was trying to groom me. But at some point I saw that he was just very creepy, and I ignored him for the longest time. So I end up blocking him off of Facebook in 2014 at the end of my matric year, because it just got too much for me. I was just like, I mean, it's not like every day he would send me messages, but it just got really weird. Mind you, actually, before I forget this part, so mid high school, I had a stalker situation where, when I think about it, I'm pretty sure it was him. So at some point he did have my number, right? And I got this phone call the one time, and I answered, and no one said anything. And I was like, hello, who is it? Like, is there someone there? And no one said anything. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So I dropped the call. And tell me why, guys, for like the next 2 years, I get random phone calls, like maybe once in a while, like every 3 months, every 4 months. I pick up the phone, and it's my voice on the other end saying exactly those words that I said that day, like, hello, hi, hello, is there anyone there? I told my family about it. I told my aunt. One day I get the phone call. I tell my aunt, like, listen, here's that. My aunt takes the phone, and she's like, yeah, Tuxel, like, she starts swearing. She's like, hey, what the fuck do you want? This is a child, like, what are you doing, blah blah. I don't know why though, we never thought of taking it to the police, but yeah. Anyway, so I ended up getting a new phone at that point, and a new number and whatnot, so that kind of just went away. But in my mind and heart, I've always thought it was him, like, because that was the creepiest thing that has ever happened to me. And I was a child, like, I was a minor, and getting phone calls from, like, I don't know, it was weird. Anyway, so in 2014, I blocked him. I stopped talking to him. He just got really creepy with the whole virginity situation, and like, who are you sleeping with? How many people do you have in your life? It was weird. I went on to varsity in 2015. That's when I was studying law. So I went on to UW studying law. I met this guy, we started dating. He found out about it, and he came to confront me. He confronted me, like, how could I move on? Am I giving my flower away to this guy? I was like, what the hell? Like, are you okay? Really? Mind you, this person is in like a 2 or 3 year relationship. He's got a girlfriend, a stable girlfriend. So I basically ignore him the whole of 2015. I'm like, I'm tired of you. Like, it's too much. We are still at this point. I don't know when this happened though, but I ended up unblocking him off of Facebook, because I don't know why. Like, I don't remember what the reason was, but then I unblocked him, and he seemed to be normal. Like, he stopped sending me weird messages, and like, you know, it was normal. Like, if I saw him in the neighborhood, we'd like, hey, how are you, and move on from that. Okay, so this was now 2016. It was my 20th birthday. My birthday was on the Sunday. Yeah, the 4th of September was on the Sunday, and on the 3rd, I went out with my friend. So it was just me and this other friend of mine who lives in the same neighborhood as me. And he was basically like, you know, what are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, I don't know. So he was like, let's go out. So I told my mom, and mom was like, okay, I'll drop you guys in Long Street, and I'll give you guys money, and you can just, you know, celebrate your birthday, just the two of you. This friend of mine is a guy, hey, just so you guys know. So I'm like, okay, I'll be your wingman. Like, you know, we can go out, have a good time, party it up. We go out, we have a good time. Even back then, I never was the type of person to check in while I'm at a place, or if I am checking in, I'm about to leave, you know. So on that night, we partying, just the two of us, and then we meet this other guy, and it was his birthday on the 4th of September too, but he was out on the Saturday. So I was like, oh yeah. So we were celebrating together, like, you know. So after having a good time celebrating our birthdays, me and this guy's birthday, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. So I check in at Space Bar. And as we're leaving the club, guys, I kid you not, who do we run into? Stalker. Stalker's like, oh, hey, fancy bumping into you guys here. I'm like, oh, this is a little weird, but okay. He's like, oh, I'm just here to meet some friends. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. His campus was like He was still like studying for some reason at that time, but his campus was in town as well. So I was like, okay, well, it makes sense if you're living this side or you schooling this side and you're here to meet your friends after your day at school. So I'm like, okay, cool. Good luck finding your friends. He's like, you know what? Let me actually just hang with you guys. I'm like, this is weird. So my friend and I are looking at each other like, no, 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 like there's no need. And he insisted, fine. So he goes with us to the next club. We get there. My friend is now dancing with like some girls that he saw, having the time of his life. And I'm standing here stuck with this stalker. So the stalker and I are talking, and then he says, you know what, let me be honest with you. I actually didn't come here to meet my friends. I came here because I saw you checked in on Facebook. So I came to find you. Guys, Cape Town, Cape Townians, South Africans, do you know how Long Street is? Do you know how long Long Street is? Hence the name Long Street. He was planning on looking for me up and down Long Street until he found me. But as I was leaving, he found me, he saw me. So like he decided, I'm not leaving this girl, I'm holding on to her and we're gonna be together the whole night. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, like, it was, yeah, no, whatever. So he was like, okay, so now the time is like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's time to go home. My friend is like, okay, let's go get a cab. He's like, no, I don't mind taking you guys home. Then I'll just sleep over at my mom's house because, you know, we all live in the same neighborhood. So my friend at that time was very sloshed. He's like, I will drop your friend at the house. My friend lives basically in the same street as me, but like, his house is like up there and my house is like down there, you know, like down the road or whatever. So it's a long way. So he's like, okay, I'll drop your friend and then we can just drive all the way to your house and drop you, you know. I'm like, okay, it's fine, because I wanted to make sure my friend got home safe. So my friend gets home, he gets into the house, turns around, waves goodbye bye. So we get to the front of my house, he parks the car, and then he starts locking all the doors, like automatic lock, whatever, and I couldn't open it for some reason, even though I kept on unlocking it myself. So I was like, did you put child lock on, like when I wasn't watching or something? Like, this is weird, like what's happening? And he's like, let's go to the beach, like, you know, I've never been to the beach, blah blah blah, at this time or whatever. And then he starts making jokes about like, what are you scared I'm gonna like do something to you? Are you scared? Like, and I was just like, listen, I want to take a cab home. You insisted, it's fine, we can go home with you. And now I'm in this like moment, and you're acting really crazy. So he was like, you know what, it's fine. I was like, wait, how did I get out? Oh, I actually had to beg because I was telling him that my mom is awake. I know my mom doesn't sleep if I'm not at home. So she's probably like, she heard the car and she's looking out like, when is she getting out of the car? So I'm like, I cannot, you know, stay here any longer. And eventually he was like, okay, it's fine. So he unlocked everything and he opened up for me and he let me out, and he was being really weird about it. And then as I got into the gate, he was like, remember, like, don't do anything with your flower, obviously referring to my private parts and men, you know. So I was just like, okay, this guy is really weird. Like after that, I was like, I sent him a message on Facebook like, I don't think we can like hang out anymore. Like, I think this has been like a long time coming, leave me alone, because it's weird. You have a girlfriend. You know what he responds with? I've been wanting to ask you for the longest time. So he ignored that message. He asks me if I can be his side chick. He's like, I've been wanting you and I want to make you mine, but I'm not prepared to leave this girl and I want you to be my side chick. First of all, you have the audacity to think that I want to be anything to you. You're creepy. Okay, so I turned him down. I'm like, no, like this is never gonna work. I really don't, like, you're disgusting at this point. So he's like, okay, cool, I understand. Fast forward, we stopped talking for a very long time after that incident. Then one day he's like, oh, I saw your sister at a party and yeah, I just want to let you know, like, oh wow, she's really grown. I'm like, damn, like he's trying to move in on my sister now. Like his pedophile ways are, they coming back up again. So I'm like, okay, my sister at this time was in high school, so she was a minor, mind you, right? And I was just like, okay. So I asked my sister about it. My sister was like, yes, I wanted to tell you that I saw him. So my family members knew like my problems with this guy and like how weird he was towards me and how overprotective he was. At first, no one took it seriously. They just thought like he was like, you know, crushing, you know, like how people excuse boy behavior. Then afterwards it's like, okay, this is getting serious now, like this guy is obsessed. So I told my sister about our situation, and then she told me, no, we met at a party and he was like the oldest one there because it was all high schoolers, and he was like standing in the corner watching me, and I felt so creepy. And I just felt like, you know, when you're an older sister and you want to protect your younger sister, because it's like this guy gives like really pervy vibes, like he's so obsessed with women and female body parts, it's disgusting. So I'm like, okay, no, like you need to like cut this guy off, like leave it alone, don't even talk to him, or if you see him, just like nod and then continue on with your life. Fine. Fast forward again. Now this is like a while after, like a few months. My brother and I, we used to do sister and brother dates, so it'll just be like our time together, like sibling bonding time. My brother is 9 years younger than me, so I'm the eldest, right? So we would go together and watch like Marvel movies or like whatever's out at the moment, and we just like sit and then go have dinner or lunch after that. So this one particular day, it was like 10 o'clock. My brother and I were like, okay, let's go watch, I forgot what movie was out at that time, but I think it was like Thor Ragnarok, if I'm not mistaken. So we decided to go watch Thor. My brother at the time was, I think, 11 or 12. Okay, so we go out during the day, we go to the movies, like we're like, okay, it's going to be nice and empty, it's not going to be full, let's watch the movie. We go out, we're standing in the line to buy popcorn, and I feel someone tap me on my shoulder. I turn around and he's like, wow, I can't believe it's you, like you're actually here, how are you, blah blah blah. Then he greets my brother, and my brother's like, what is he doing here, like did you invite him? I'm like, no, I didn't invite him. And then I realized that, which was my stupid mistake, on my Facebook I had checked in, but I never checked in where, like I just said that I'm watching this movie. So I never said like at which new metro. I don't know how he found out, but then he showed up at Canal Walk and he was there. And we literally, listen, I'm still to this day like trying to figure out like how he found out I was there. And then I was just like, okay, well, you've got to go because this is just our day today, like you can't hang out here with us, like just go. And I basically chased him away, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll send you a message on Facebook or something. And I was just like, why, like what is your thing, dude? Okay, so that's another incident. And then again, the one day I was home alone, so he randomly just came to my house, knocked on the door. I opened the door, I'm like, hello, who is it? It's him. And he's like, hey, aren't you gonna let me in? He's acting like there's something important that he was like supposed to give to me or do, because his mom and my mom knew each other. I let him in, I'm like, yes, what is it, blah blah blah. And then he just starts hugging me and trying to, like, you know, touch me inappropriately. And he's like, wow, you really don't want me, you don't feel anything for me. Mind you, this guy has a girlfriend still. So I'm like, no, like I'm really like, I'm over this, like I really don't, no, leave me. I'm like, anyway, I have to go to my friend's house, my friend being the one that I went out with on the night that my birthday celebration night, basically. So I'm like, I have to go to his house, blah blah blah. And he's like, okay, cool. So I'm like, I chase him away, like, bye, like leave. He's like, okay, cool. He leaves. I walk out of the house, I lock up. As I'm walking, there's like a park area in our street. I walk past the park and he's waiting for me there. He's like, I wanted to check if you're really going to your friend's house, let me walk with you. Really? So I'm like, okay. I get to my friend's house and my friend was like, why is he here? And I'm like, I don't know, like he just came. And then my friend was like, okay. So we start talking. My friend has a twin, right? So the twin was at home too. We all start talking, we just engage in conversation, and I'm like, okay guys, I'm quickly going to go to the shop, there's something I want to buy. I left him there. I'm sorry to the twins, but I couldn't that day. I was just like, I cannot be bothered, I really don't want to, like, no. So I left him there, and then my friend was like, you left him here? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, friend, like I cannot. And then he ended up going home at some point, and I was like, hopefully now he's got the message. He didn't get the message. Fast forward to 2018, guys. Do you know how long this is? Because I met this guy in 2009, so this is a very long period of time where this guy has been like a nuisance in my life. So fast forward to 2018, I am now attending like these body positive events and blah blah blah. I go to this one particular event. Oyama Bota, she always has like these all bodies are beautiful meetups and stuff like that, right? So I go and I bump into his girlfriend there. At the time, I didn't know that was his girlfriend until late that day. I saw them in the car together, and I didn't know it was him in the car. I just saw her, and then she called me over to the car, and she was like, "Hey, someone wants to greet you," and I'm like, "Who?" I bend like this, and I look into the car, and it's him, and he's like, "Hey," smiling and whatnot, like, "Ah, are you excited to see me?" I just went, "Hey," and I continued walking because I was like, "This is getting like really crazy." I go to another event, I get there, he's there with his girlfriend as well. It was like if I posted about a particular event, he ended up going to that event. Like I'd be like so excited for the All Bodies Are Beautiful meetup on Saturday, and then I'd find out that his girlfriend was there and he's gonna pick her up. So it just felt like he would do whatever to come see me, like, or bump into me at some point. So I mean, I could be crazy, but it really was ridiculous. I was just like, yeah. And then after that, he sent me a message like, "Can we, like, you know, be sneaky links?" This is now his second time, and I was like, "Dude, literally I blocked you off of the other thing, you messaging me on another thing." And he was just like, "Just please, like, you know, treat your flower properly, don't like let anybody like, you know, in and out of your you know what." And I was just like, this guy has an obsession with my body. And I was just like, okay, you know what, block. And after that, I even told my mom, I told everyone, like, don't talk to him, don't befriend him. Like, if you see him, just be like, and continue on with life, because he is disgusting. Yeah, so literally, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to end this off. That's literally how this guy harassed me online as well as in like real life, showing up to places or just like following me when he sees me. It was just one of the worst experiences. I found out last year or earlier this year that he now has a daughter, and I'm just like, I feel so sorry for her. Like, it's always like weird when God gives those that are so daughters, because it's like I just want to protect that little girl because her father is weird. He's creepy. But it's like, you know what? A blessing is a blessing, and hopefully he treats her right. And I hope that she never gets to experience what I've experienced from him, from another man, you know? Because it was really traumatizing. It was horrible, to say the least. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.